everybody. Welcome to Shalon. It's High Priestess Benahay coming to you with another Bible story. This one is about the Tower of Babel. That being said, let's dive in. So the Tower of Babel was basically humanity was unified, but they weren't unified through God. Let's see what happened. So Genesis 11, 1 through 9 says, and the whole earth was of one language and one speech. So at one point, we all spoke the same. That's wild. And it came to pass, as they journeyed from the east, that they found a plain in the land of Shinar. And they dwelt there. And they said one to another, go, let us make brick and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime they had for mortar. And they said, go, let us build us a city and a tower, whose top may reach into heaven, and let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men builded. And the Lord said, behold, the people is one, and they all have one language. And this they began to do. And now nothing will be restrained for them, which they have imagined to do. Go, let us go down, and there confounded their language, that they may not understand one another's speech, so that the Lord scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of the earth, and they left off to build the city. Therefore, the name of it called Babel, because the Lord did confound the language of all the earth. And from thence did the Lord scatter them abroad the earth. So this is just another example of how, humanity, we are good together. There's strength in numbers and we can do great things. But just like how Satan was a chosen angel, right? And had everything he could want, he still wanted more. And not only did he want that for himself, he also had other angels get cast down with him. You know what I mean? And it was no different for the Tower of Babel. They had gotten so, excited and thrilled and so into the world that they thought that they could build up to heaven and just go to heaven that way. But God was like, absolutely not. So, do you think you can build? Okay, here's a different language. Now you don't know what each other are saying. Build that way, right? And he's like, well, let's say that you did figure out how to talk and how to, communicate and work that out. Let's spread you out across the world and then see you guys come together and do that again. God wasn't playing no games. God was not playing any games. So we also knew that it wasn't long after the flood that man's problem with sin again happened with Noah and Noah's son. So the Tower of Babel conveys so many different things, like human pride and ambition, divine authority, and cultural diversity. And setbacks can sometimes be, a blessing, right? Because had they have did what they were trying to do, who knows what God would have did, right? So instead of them being able to reach that goal, God was like, you know what? Let's set you down, spread you out, give you some time, And of course, they never reached that goal of being able to do that, but not to say that, that we couldn't reach our goals. There's miracles that happen every day, long as your goal's for the right, okay? So sometimes scattering is direction, and sometimes redirection can look like confusion, okay? And God didn't destroy them. He could have destroyed them. He could have cast them down. He could have did anything. but he gave them another chance with grace and mercy. Okay? So he scattered them so that they would fill the earth and spread across and live out the command that he made in Genesis, which is go forth and multiply. Okay? So sometimes God has to scatter us, and sometimes God has to, redirect and change things so that we can have, the things that we want, which is why I say you have to be thankful for not only what he has done, what he will do, but also what he didn't do. Okay? And sometimes he does. Sometimes he redirects or scatters people, relationships, places, things, plans, jobs, locations. He'll do all that. Because a lot of the times you're settling for less than what God has planned for you. Yeah. So sometimes he does that to redirect us on our path and get us back to him. So I have a question for you guys. Are you building God's kingdom, or are you building your own? Are you following his voice, or are you following your own ambition? That what I ask that, you guys should do is ask God to tear down any tower that you're building that isn't built on him. Okay? That being said, you guys, stay blessed, never stressed, with much peace, much power, much love, much light, and of course, much joy. See you guys next time.